Hello children, I hope you all are doing fine. I welcome you all to our special English hour. Here we will learn lots of new things while having fun. Are you all ready for some fun? Let's get started. Children, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word news? When I hear the word news, things like newspapers, news channels, television, social media, internet, and such things come to my mind. Why do you think is that the case? It is so because these are the places from where we get information or news. Not until a few years ago, newspaper was the only source of news. But then came news channels. Then came internet. And now we get news at the tap of our fingers, right? It has become very easy for us to Google something or to look up for something on internet, hasn't it? We are surrounded by news and we get news 24/7, which means 24 hours a day and 7 days the whole week, right? So these are the things that come to my mind when I hear the word news. Now, I have another question for you. We always talk about news in good way. But do you think that we only read good things in newspapers? No, we come across different types of news. A news is a piece of information, right? So it can be of any type. We can read or hear or watch good news, or we can do the same with bad news. It is a piece of information, and that is how it should be treated. Now, I have another question for you. And my question is, do we always come across correct news? No. There are fake news items as well. And not just in newspapers. It is everywhere. As I said, that we are surrounded by news, which is why in times like these, news cannot be trusted because everyone is spreading the word. When we talk about internet, it is a very important form of technology. But it is not just a blessing. Sometimes it also acts as a curse. You must have read or watched on television that sometimes fake news also gets circulated, right? इसका मतलब ये है कि कभी-कभी गलत न्यूज़ भी लोगों तक पहुंचती है और इसका कारण है इंटरनेट। हम एक दूसरे से इंटरनेट से जुड़े हुए हैं, जिसके कुछ फायदे भी है और कुछ नुकसान भी है। There are many news items that we come across, but most of the times we are not able to verify whether these news items are true or false. हम हर रोज अलग अलग प्रकार के न्यूज़ आइटम्स पढ़ते हैं या देखते हैं, लेकिन ये बताना बहुत मुश्किल है कि ये न्यूज़ आइटम्स सच है या गलत। इन्हें प्रूव करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, which is why we as responsible citizens must be very careful as to what we watch, what we read and what we share with others. हमें क्योंकि पता नहीं है कि ये न्यूज़ सच है या गलत है, हम जो भी किसी के साथ शेयर कर रहे हो उसके बारे में रिस्पॉन्सिबल होना चाहिए। We also read about so many things that spread misinformation. जब हम कुछ गलत चीज शेयर करें किसी के साथ, तो उस वजह से बहुत लोगों तक ये गलत न्यूज़ पहुंच सकती है और उस वजह से मिसकम्युनिकेशन या मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन लोगों के बीच बढ़ जाता है और इसके कारण बहुत 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 घोर हो सकते हैं और इसका नुकसान सिर्फ हमें भुगतना पड़ सकता है। Which is why we need to be very careful with what news items we send to other people. Children, you all know that it is very important that we learn new words. When we learn new words, we are able to learn a language in a better way. So today, let's learn some new words that you will come across in the lesson when we read it. So I request you to please make a note of these words in your notebooks. Invigilators. 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 The invigilators were very strict. Climate. 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 The climate of India is unpleasant during the summer season. Epidemic. 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 There was an epidemic of a waterborne disease in London. Candidates. 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 There were many candidates for the job interview. Guardian. 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 He is the guardian of the student. Children, our today's lesson's name is News Analysis. We read lots of articles and news from newspapers, and most people believe that whatever is printed is true. But that is not the case. We need to be careful about what we read and what we say to others. So, it is very important to have base about what we are reading to form correct opinions. And that is what news analysis is. So, children, I request you to please open page number 70 of your textbook. I will be reading this lesson and I request you to please point at the words as I read them. And if you don't have a textbook, listen to me carefully. Closed shoes not allowed in examination halls. Bengaluru. Shivam Institute of Innovation Technology, Bengaluru, has recently issued a list of do's and don'ts for candidates taking the entrance test to the prestigious institute this year. The candidates will not be allowed to enter the examination hall wearing closed shoes, boots, even socks. Other items which will not be allowed inside include mobile phones, microphones, earplugs, calculators, and other electronic gadgets, pouches, printed or blank papers, and even pens. The pens will be provided in the hall by the invigilators. Children, what we just read was a list. This list was for an entrance exam that was happening in an institute in Bangalore. This list had some do's and don'ts for the students. हमने अभी जो आर्टिकल पढ़ा उसमें एक लिस्ट दी गई है. ये लिस्ट छात्रों के लिए है कि वो कौन सी चीजें कर सकते हैं और कौन सी चीजें नहीं कर सकते. Ritika takes a break from acting. Mumbai, September 9. Famous actress Ritika, who is believed to be the most highly paid star in Bollywood, is all set to break the hearts of her fans. In an informal chat with journalists, she revealed that she will not sign any more films after completing the big budget movie Ant next month. She refused to give any reasons for her decision. However, sources close to her reveal that now she wants to make a career in politics. Children, have you ever read news from an entertainment column? This news is from an entertainment column because it is about an actress. This is an actress from Bollywood and her name is Ritika. This news tells us that Ritika is leaving her Bollywood career and now she is joining politics. हमने अभी जो आर्टिकल पढ़ा वो एक बॉलीवुड के अभिनेत्री के बारे में है. ये अभिनेत्री बॉलीवुड का काम छोड़ रही है क्योंकि वो राजनीति ज्वाइन करना चाहती है. Most dangerous time in history. London. The famous physics professor Stephen Hawking has warned that mankind is facing the most dangerous time in its history today. He said that the world today is facing huge challenges like climate change, overpopulation, epidemic diseases. We have the technology to destroy the planet on which we live and have not yet developed the ability to escape it. Perhaps in a few hundred years from now, we will have built colonies amid the stars. But right now, we have only one planet and we need to work together to protect it. Hawking wrote recently in the Guardian newspaper. Children, this article is from International News section. And how do we know that? We come to know because the article says London. This article is written by Stephen Hawking. He was a well-known scientist and he is talking about climate change here. Have you heard about climate change? I'm sure we all have, and the problems that we are facing because of climate change. Stephen Hawking says that the time that we are living right now is very difficult. He talks about how the issues that we are facing right now with our environment is going to impact on human life. हमने अभी जो आर्टिकल पढ़ा ये एक इंटरनेशनल न्यूज़ है क्योंकि ये आर्टिकल स्टीफन हॉकिंग ने लिखा है लंदन से। इस आर्टिकल में वैज्ञानिक स्टीफन हॉकिंग हमारे पर्यावरण की बात कर रहे हैं। वो कहते हैं कि जो अब पर्यावरण के साथ हो रहा है उसका ह्यूमंस और बाकी के क्रीचर्स पर कैसे असर पड़ सकता है। क्विक क्योर फॉर ऑल एलिमेंट्स। स्टाफ रिपोर्टर कवाते। Hundreds of people flock every hour to Ralewadi, a tiny settlement near Ambegaon. They wait in long winding queues in the hot sun to get a special powder from Miri Baba, who claims that it cures all sorts of diseases. According to him, he has developed this powder from a special herb in the Himalayas. Unwilling to give the exact name and source of the herb, he only says that it was revealed to him. He offers it at ₹25 a packet. Each packet is specially blessed by him. Some of his followers claim that they have seen him curing thousands of people with his powder. However, Dr. Karnik of Ambegaon Civil Hospital says that the number of patients in their hospital has in fact increased in the last few weeks. Children, what we read right now is known as a special report. This report is talking about a village and about a man who magically cures people through a powder. This article is talking about superstition because this man claims to cure people with a powder. Do you think it's possible? Of course not. He might be trying to fool these people because the doctor of the village says that instead of a decrease in the number of patients, there have been an increase in the number of patients coming to the hospital. So this, what we read, is a special report. हमने अभी जो आर्टिकल पढ़ा वो एक स्पेशल रिपोर्ट है। ये आर्टिकल एक गांव के बारे में है जहां पे एक आदमी या एक बाबा ये कहता है कि वो लोगों को ठीक कर सकता है एक पाउडर से। लेकिन वो गांव के डॉक्टर ये कहते हैं कि उन लोगों की संख्या जो हॉस्पिटल में आते हैं वो घटने की जगह बढ़ चुकी है। तो इस आर्टिकल को हम कहेंगे स्पेशल रिपोर्ट। Children, you all must know that in a newspaper, other than news items, we also find other things like advertisements. So now our activity is related to this. You will see a few images on your screens, and these images are not related to news items. Looking at the images, you have to guess what these images mean. आपके स्क्रीन्स पे अभी आपको कुछ तस्वीरें नजर आएंगी। ये तस्वीरें हम अक्सर अखबारों में देखते हैं। आपको इन तस्वीरों को देख के ये गैस करना है कि इन तस्वीरों का क्या मतलब है। Sounds easy? Let's give it a try. Children, were you able to solve this activity? Let's have a look. The first image says special offer. What does this image remind you of? It reminds us of an advertisement. It says special offer, which means that there could be discount on something. So here, next to special offer, I will write advertisement. Next, we have job search. This is also an advertisement, but it is not a news item. It is job. So here I will write job advertisement. In the third image, we see a girl, and it looks like a movie poster, right? So this is movies. Now let's move to the last image. In the last image, we see a band. There is a guitar player, a drummer, and a singer. So this looks like a concert or an event. So here, next to the fourth image, I will write events. Children, today we learned a lot about news. We also learned a lot about news analysis. Now, for homework, I request you to share this information with your friends and family members. I would like to end this session on that note. I will see you in our next session. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye.